Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here on the channel with the Hong Kong Sevens. Our very first matchup, we are covering Fiji versus Japan. Now, on paper and in the betting odds, this should be a relatively one-sided affair in favour of the Flying Fijians, but you just never know with this Japanese side. They can sometimes create magical moments. I think the Fijians will be able to get the job done in the starting lineup. It will be Joshua Vakunarabili, Talatholo, Matana, Nathunu, very dangerous player. We've seen that throughout the last few leagues of the Sevens circuit. And also alongside that, we saw him in the Sevens World Cup really shining. My Samoa at number 11, Bukayaro and Noruvalo. That is the starting lineup that the Fijians have gone with for this match. Then for Japan, it is going to be Tsuka there at number 11, Nakagawa, Maruo, also Hayashi, Nanguchi, Fukushi, and Mayagami as the last man in that starting lineup. So they haven't got the familiar face of Sojima in the starting lineup. Instead, he will be coming off the bench, also off the bench for the Flying Fijians. Mothana Thangi, watch out for him. Saturanga and also Iwani Teba as another player who I am very excited to see. Also, a couple new names in there. Wale Soliso, I should say, and also Tera Walangi. Watch out for those two off the bench as well. But do let me know the predictions for the score, ladies and gentlemen. For this one, I'm saying Fiji win it 42 points to 7. If that is somehow completely correct, I'll shave some of my beard off, I guess. It's a bit unfortunate if that actually happens. It will be very patchy. And Patrick has said the Island Sevens won their match against the Kenya Sevens indeed, though, Hamish, says Patrick. So that is great news for the Irish and lots of rugby this weekend. There certainly is. We are going to have overlaps for days, but my parents are actually going to be doing a little bit of that All Blacks versus Wales game while we are covering the Rugby League World Cup quarterfinal between Papua New Guinea and England. So they will be making their commentary return on the channel. It's going to be an exciting one. The Sevens all throughout the days. Also, the Women's Rugby World Cup also in the full swing of things as well. But the Fijians, always a tough side to beat. They have really made Hong Kong their second home on the World Sevens circuit, always winning here, and they are fired up like they always would be. Now, Jordan Way in charge of this one. It's great to see that he has recovered from his head knock that he took in one of the other games of the Sevens circuit. Unfortunately, collided with a player, got hit pretty hard, and had to come off the field for an HIA, even though he was the referee for the contest. I got Fiji by 30, says Novam there, and also hi, says Krish. And there, I hope you are doing well, mate. Do let me know your score prediction in the chat as well. But the Fijians, they will be wearing the white. Japan are wearing their away kit in the blue. And they are going to be kicking off this game. Nathuno gives the thumbs up. Where can I watch it? Says Greg. I believe, depending on whereabouts you are in the world, if you go on the World Sevens circuit or the World Sevens series website, there is a where to watch tab, and it will tell you exactly where you can watch, depending on what country you're in. This is going to be almost a try for Japan straight away, and they've done it. 9 seconds is all it took for the Japanese to score the first try of the match up against Fiji. It was a beautiful bounce off the kickoff. Wow. What a start. And also, we get that Fiji easy win from the UK, says Greg. So, yeah, on that World Sevens Series website, it will tell you exactly where to watch for the UK. I believe, depending on what part of the UK you're in, though, sometimes it is available on that website as well. And all right, Hamish, should be pretty straightforward, this one, says Sebastian. Although now they've got to make a little bit more of a comeback, I guess, in this match. But a beautiful try scored by Hayashi. And the Japanese go in straight away. 9 seconds. Who would have guessed that Japan would score in 9 seconds in this game? I don't think that would have been... Oh, he's missed. So he's ruined my prediction. I said 42 points to 7. Because that kick is unsuccessful, it means now 42 points to 7 is not actually possible. Fiji are undefeated in their last 31 matches in Hong Kong. Last defeat was in a 2014 quarterfinal loss. It's been quite a while. It's nicely taken, though, now by Vakunarabili. He's put the ball down. They've said it's gone backwards. And my Samoa able to clean it up for the Fijians. Now becomes a penalty for the high tackle. And Japan really having the start to themselves, says Miss Sir. And also because I remember the World Sevens was shown by Sky Sports, says Greg. I know that it's on Sky Sports here in New Zealand, so I'm not too sure whether or not the UK is the same. Bukayaro now got plenty of pace. In fact, it's Nadovalo instead. And he will be scoring the first try of the match now for the Fijians. They fire back. Didn't take very long at all either. And Nadovalo getting his first try in Hong Kong. He looked like he was kind of clapping, but also a little bit frustrated. I don't know whether or not he's hurt himself in the process, but this was a brilliant offload from Waiathanevu. In fact, that's just a lie. It's Nathuno. I keep on mixing up my names. I'm too excited for this contest. Japan currently I mean, they've gone from the highest to highs to now the lowest of lows because they're back to even with Fiji. In fact, they'll be 2 points down after this conversion from the Fijians does end up going over. But it was a great try for Viwa Norowalo. The kick is successful from Waisia Nathunu, and Fiji now lead this game 7 points to 5. Playing as GB again, got to help us, Sebastian. And yeah, I believe when is their first match? It's actually the next game, isn't it, if I'm not wrong, that Great Britain will be playing. I know that we are covering their game between them and South Africa in the game tomorrow. And how, says Catherine, and there as well. How, I assume you are talking with the scoreboard. It is still to update, though. It's supposed to be 7 points for Fiji, 5 to Japan. So the Fijians, they are in the lead. Although down the wing here, Japan once again trying to back themselves. Down the wing, though, here comes Jerry Matana. And they are not going to stop him from this angle. The ball just a little bit of looseness from the Japanese when they were recycling. And Matana swoops, Matana scores, and Japan take the lead as well. This website you were talking about, do we have to search it in Google in order to watch the game, says Chris? So yeah, it is pretty much, if you type into Google World Rugby Sevens, it will be the first website, and in one of the tabs up the top, it has a where to watch section. Why is GB and the Sevens are not England, says Greg? It's a good question. I'm not actually sure what the reasoning behind it is, because I know that recently in the Commonwealth Games and the Rugby League World, or not the Rugby League World Cup, the Rugby Sevens World Cup, they were separate. So I guess, yeah, I don't know why they've joined up. And next game against France, says Sebastian, say it will be a tough game. And also more games for more live stream tonight, already done for, says Brandon. Will you be streaming All Blacks 15 versus Ireland? We will be indeed. We are getting up nice and early on the Saturday morning, which is actually tomorrow morning, isn't it? Kick's gone over though, 14 points to 5 in favour of the Fijians. It's kicked off on the full from Fiji there though. They tried to go quickly off the kickoff. Didn't work out, and now Japan will be able to have themselves the quick tap on the halfway line. The Flying Fijian says Nov Mum. And also say there is no Scotland then because of GB pretty much. So they will be actually joining up. So maybe you have like 3 or 4 Scottish players. I'm trying to think. Jordan Edmonds, if he's available, he will be there. I would say more than likely. I mean, there's a few decent Scottish players in there, to be fair. I think they would have a few in their squad. I haven't actually seen it just yet. Bulla Hamish, thanks for the comms. Says Robbie T, no worries at all, mate. And how many Fijians are in there, says Catherine. If we're talking how many Fijian tries, we have seen 2 so far throughout this matchup. If you're talking how many Fijians watching, we normally have quite a few popping in and out throughout the Sevens commentary streams. That's going to be fed in by Japan. They decided to go for the scrum choice, which was an interesting option, but they decided it would be the best way of luring in some of those Fijian defenders. Now back across to the left-hand side. Going to be in the hands of Marua. Or Marol, I should say. Debut for the Japanese centre. Now a nice bit of stepping here on Japan, still just trying to find that gap. The wide cutout pass goes straight into the hands of Fukushi. He's trying to go through. I see Nathunu. He's dropped the ball in the process. I think the referee said that it is going to be play on, and Fiji have been able to claim it now. My son Moa hits it at the line. Finds the offload to Nathunu. It's going to be a foot race, and Nathunu doesn't lose too many of them. And that will be the try for Waisia Nathunu. And Japan have now conceded another in the first half. And also, Tosaviti says Viri, and also All Blacks 15 is a reasonable hour. Not stupid o'clock like the Wales game. So next streams are South Africa versus Uruguay and New Zealand versus Samoa, right, says Sebastian. Yep. So those are the 2 that we have got tonight. I really wanted to do more of them, but strategically, when I looked through the schedule and realized how many games we've got over the weekend, I think I've got to save some of my voice, unfortunately. But the thing is, as soon as we get to the last day of the Sevens, once I know I've only got like 1 more union stream or 1 more league stream, I'm just going to be doing as many as physically possible until my eyelids close. That kick has gone over, and that is going to make the score 21 points to 5 in favor of the Fijians. I should also mention with the Sevens, I'm testing out to see whether or not I can do back-to-back streams, because the last few times, as you guys know, my live streams have been crashing a little bit on my PC. So hopefully it does sort itself out by the weekend, or else we're in a bit of trouble for the weekend. Amelia said, hi, beautiful work from the Fijians once again. And this time it will be my son Moa. Just seems to be that anytime that gap opens up, the Fijians are able to go straight through and get themselves another try. Where are they playing? It is at the Hong Kong Stadium in Hong Kong. So at this stage, Hong Kong, their first game is going to be up against Australia in just over 2 hours' time. Oh, never mind, Hong Kong. He's not everyday cultist. And there as well. Yeah, over the weekend, we have got, I believe we're covering about 4 or 5 different competitions, which is kind of cool. Are all not coming any of the November tour this weekend because Rugby Sevens, says Brandon. And they're literally watching sport from morning to evening uninterrupted, says Sebastian. Yeah. It's actually incredible how much there's on at the moment. Like, Sevens is the perfect filler, I guess you could say. And I'm not saying that it doesn't deserve to be the main event. If it was the main event of a weekend, happy days. But it's pretty much any time we think we've got a little period where we don't have any rugby league World Cup, women's rugby World Cup, anything along those lines, as soon as you think you've got a gap, then you see there's about sevens matches that are all taking place back to back to back. So it's going to be interesting. Hopefully the voice lasts. It's been a while since we've tested the vocal cords to this extent. And that's kind of exciting. Until the voice disappears, then it won't be that exciting. It will be me talking like this, trying to scream when I can only whisper. Currently at halftime in this game, 26 points for Fiji, 5 to Japan. Probably something along the lines of what people were expecting for this contest. My prediction was 42 points to 7. Cannot happen, but it could be relatively close perhaps if Fiji don't score a huge amount of tries in the second half. 4 tackles made by Fiji. The 3 missed tackles from Japan, I believe at least 2 of those ended up linking up. I only watched sevens. Really nothing else, says Chris. So we have still got plenty of the sevens coming up throughout the weekend. I believe our first game tomorrow in the sevens after we have done the last matchup we're doing today, which is New Zealand versus Samoa. I believe the first one that we're going to be doing will more than likely be either 5:15 p.m. Fiji versus Spain or 6:10 p.m. South Africa versus Great Britain. One of those two will be our first one. But yeah, like I mentioned, we may have to do them as, depending on how the schedule goes, maybe with a gap in between just to make sure my PC doesn't crash before getting into the next one. How's everybody doing? Says Ed. Very excited. Nervous for this weekend. There's a lot of sport on. 47 to 10 for Fiji, says Christian. Does Japan Sevens play for the 15s like Fiji? Because some of them are playing the Sevens. They also play for the 15s. In this side, I believe not too many at all of these Sevens players for Japan are in the Union side, but I'd like to see a couple of the Union players transition to Sevens eventually, just because not only does it help with your fitness, but also if you're a talented player, you really get the opportunity to shine. I believe that is Sojima. Found the offload nicely down the wing. It is going to be Yoshizawa now. Moving up to the halfway line, Japan want to try and start the second half effectively. They have already taken longer than they did in the first half to score a try, which is absolutely an incredible one. And I think that's going to be the quickest try we see throughout this Hong Kong Sevens. Now back across, Sojima. Ball on the outside. Japan's backline has been looking very good throughout this matchup. We've got to give them credit there. Now Sojima goes to the short side once again. Got the man on the outside. Almost was able to find the offload. He does indeed now. Gives it off to Nakagawa. Back across. Good attack and run from Japan. Up the middle. And it's going to be their number 14, which I believe, if I'm not wrong, I'm going to check the name there. Kurihara was the man with it. Now the another offload. Japan just don't want to give up here up against the flying Fiji, and Sojima almost knocked it on. Numbers on the outside. Cut out pass, looking for the corner. Nadalvalo makes the tackle, though. And also jumping in there was Bukayaro. Little knock on the ground. In fact, it's going to be the penalty in favour of Fiji, who now go. He wasn't back 10, so it's going to be another penalty in favour of the Fijians. Okay, they are just checking with the 10ers. Jordan Way, the Australian referee, has blown the whistle there. And when it's New Zealand's game, it is at 11:35 that it has taken place New Zealand time. So we are starting at 11:30, and we will be covering that one on the channel. Are you planning to stream Rugby League World Cup quarterfinal? We have got, at this stage, that's going to be the try to Japan. Okay. That is going to be Hayashi getting his second try of the match. What I was going to say is at the moment, we have got plans of streaming 2 out of the 4 quarterfinals. That will be England versus Papua New Guinea and Tonga versus Samoa. I have got a little bit of commentary organized for other people actually providing the commentary of the Union games while I'm doing the Rugby League. But yeah, we are hoping to cover 2 out of the 4 this weekend. That's a great try for Japan. Hayashi has scored again. I feel like they're really destroying some people's handicap here because they would have had it that Fiji were going to win by 40 or 50 or so. And also scoreboard refresh boss, says Sebastian. Yeah, it's a bit slow today, isn't it? But I think it has now got the job done. Overall, on what time? What is the time of the 2 stream you doing, says Greg. So for the sevens, if we are talking sevens that we've got later on today, we have got the first one at 11. No, that's a lie. What's the time now? First stream will be at 11:05. Then that's South Africa versus Uruguay. So that is in about an hour's time. And then the other one after that, we are starting at 11:30. That will be New Zealand versus Samoa. No Black Ferns tomorrow. We are going to be covering the Black Ferns games as well. It will be myself and my mum who are doing that one. So, yeah, once again, we've got ourselves another little overlap taking place with the Sevens. We are hoping to be able to do both, though, relatively effectively. Beautiful offload there from Fiji. They've said that it's gone backwards, then forwards. So it's going to be a play on just for now. And it will be another try for Fiji. They break through the Japanese defense, not going to be able to catch the big man, Walangi, who will score. Oh, calm down, buddy. He's just almost... I don't know what he was trying to do. I think he was trying to get it right between the posts for his first ever try, but he almost made a massive mistake. Almost got forced back into the field of play. And 9 says Kush there. And I watched Afghanistan versus Sri Lanka, New Zealand versus England in the cricket, says Buys Devil. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how New Zealand continue to go in the Cricket World Cup. I believe, yeah, there's been some interesting games. At 11:05 p.m. in New Zealand or in the morning because I am from the UK. So that is pretty much 1 hour's time from here is when it will be. And 30s may be needed, I think so. Plenty of lemon, honey, ginger. What else have people recommended in the past? Honey, lemon, ginger. What else goes well? Garlic? No, not garlic. That would be a terrible drink, wouldn't it? With the rest of those. What else would you put? There was something else that I'm supposed to have with it that people have told me. My dad took me home early from school. Says Bays there. That's going to be Fiji once again. Anytime you look away, Fiji just go offload, bang, and they score another try. That time, Ioane Timber was the man who did get it. His first try of the Hong Kong Sevens. And on the day to watch those games, says it was Buys Devil there. And my prediction is wrong, 47-10. And also brags apple cider vinegar. And also, come on, Apane, best students of Sir Fozzie, says Mark. And there as well. But it is a nice try for Ioane Timber. My 42 points seems unlikely as well. At the moment here, unfortunately, I feel like I might have gone a little bit too low. I also underestimated Japan, though, because I did give them only the 1 try rather than the 2 that they have been able to get so far. Fiji have scored the most tries of any team in the last 8 Hong Kong Sevens events, averaging 27.9 tries. Now, to put that into perspective, they only play 5 games, maybe 6. So they average around that maybe 4 or 5 tries per matchup of their Sevens. That makes it very hard to beat them. That's going to be another try now as long as Bukayaro is able to pick it up nicely. He does just that. It's another try for the Fijians. And Hong Kong Sevens, come on. Says Rugby Itch there. Bad predictions all around. Luckily, we are used to them. Says Sebastian, yeah. I'll still be hanging on to that game between Tonga and Papua New Guinea for the rest of my life when I actually got the score relatively close. Now, although I only predicted how much they win by, didn't actually get it bang on, but I said Tonga by 6. They won by 6. I was a happy boy for like 3 weeks. And then, yeah, from there we did all right. Whiskey or brandy, says Catherine. Does that help with the sore throat? I mean, I know people say sometimes it's an interesting one because sometimes it burns your throat, but is that a good thing? And also, we're going to, how much can you say something to Buys Devil? I'm not even sure if I'm saying the first part right. Is it Buys or busy? It could be busy, actually, now I think about it. B1ZE. Maybe. And Fiji just too good. Good effort from Japan, but Fiji class act. And who got the Discord bug fixes online update? Just me, says Brandon there as well. But 47 points to 12 at the moment in this contest. Still another 1 minute 40 left. The next game we are covering on the channel is in an hour's time. That will be South Africa versus Uruguay. And I think the scoreline in that game might be relatively similar. Another offload from Fiji. They just don't want to stop scoring now. Every time they get their kickoff back, they're just getting it. I don't know. Says, wait, so you don't know how to say your own username? Just say it, please. I mean, I try and say it, but if I'm saying it wrong, I guess it's not effective. You know? And also Fiji all the way, says Viniana. And there as well. But Ioane Timber, he gets himself another try in the Hong Kong Sevens. I don't know if that man was wearing a mouth guard. I think he's supposed to be, but he decided, nah, don't need one today. The Kiwi lads smashing out the hours of rugby this weekend. Let's go. Says Nate, yep, we are covering a total of 4 different competitions. That's a great kick from the touchline as well. That's going to make the score now 54 points to 12 in favor of Fiji. I like how every time I've tried to say something about something that isn't the Fijians scoring. They just score again. They've got the ball again here. Another offload. Fiji, Ioane Tepa goes for the offload, doesn't quite find it the way that he wanted to, and Marita has been able to clean it up. Little knock on from Fiji on the ground, and the scrum feed will go the way of Japan. Yeah, pretty much as soon as we try and get distracted, straight away Fiji score. But luckily we've got a scrum now, so that's a little bit more time. And hi, says Woody in there as well. Welcome in and come on, Fiji, says Esther. I got 35 subscribers, says Bites Devil. And there as well. But the offload game, he tried to find it straight into the hands of Wala Soliso. Wasn't able to get it there, though. And now Fiji sitting 54 points to 12 with 3 seconds left on the clock. And Woody is going for the Fijians and this contest also. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is hugely appreciated. And we have got plenty more sevens coming up this weekend. Stolen by Fiji at scrum time. Now Bukayaro, he has the pass on the outside. If he can find it, it's bouncing awkwardly, but it's picked up beautifully by Ioane Tepa. And that's going to be his hat trick in this matchup. Brilliantly done. Gives the Japanese player a pat on the back of the head as well for the tackle attempt. But 3 in the first match for Ioane Tepa. And that's going to make the score 59 points to 12 now for the Fijians. The prediction for Scotland against Fiji going 35-10 for Scotland. Says Greg down. Let's go Fiji, says Chris. Sorry, I should say. And also we have got there, it is Blaze Devil basically. I see. Okay, so it's pretty much, it's got a silent A. And by silent one, I mean it's not there, but we should say it with the A. That kick's gone away to the side. That's the end of the match. 59 points to 12 in favor of the Fijians over Japan. And that is a pretty huge scoreline. Oh, I hear some fireworks in the background. Maybe someone celebrating the Fijian win that they have just been able to get for themselves. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. Our next live stream is in about 50 minutes' time for South Africa versus Uruguay. And I hope to see a majority of you there. After that, we have got the game taking place between New Zealand and Samoa. They're both in the pool of death. It's going to be a tough one, but someone will be walking away with the win after that exciting contest. Thank you, TKL, says Viniana. No worries at all. And Fiji 2, good class, says Woody there. Yeah, they may have had that shaky start when there was the try scored by Japan, but at the end of the day after that, they did show just how strong they are. They will top Pool C now with a points differential of plus 47. And Hamish says Blaze Devil. And also 59 to 12 full time. And Cheer says Nazi Williams and the chat as well. But for Kurabili, and the handshakes to all of these Japanese players who did very well. I mean, Hayashi getting the 2 tries. Pretty decent. And there by Ioane Tepa, man of the match for me after getting himself the hat trick. See you tomorrow, maybe. Says Blaze Devil. We will see you later on, mate. But thank you all very much for tuning in. Like I mentioned, if you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you all for the next one.